Hello, my name is Cody Long, and I'm very happy to be here today to finally be able to express to you my message. Today's message, like all of my messages, is love. And I'm very happy to be here today because I haven't always been this fortunate, and I haven't always been this aligned, and I haven't always had these opportunities. I haven't always been successful, and as you can see, I'm not there yet either. But I've always had this dream of mine, and I've always had this inner message to which I wish to express, and it had always taken up all of my life and all of my energy, and all I had ever wished to do was to express this message. The thing is that I hadn't always been able to do this, and wasn't always fortunate enough to be at the position to be able to express this and to be able to live my dream like the way I am now. And the thing is it was killing me. I have lived many years in a state of depression, in a state of not wanting to be here, in a state of contemplation of leaving this world and almost hoping to be able to leave this world. I have lived with social anxiety, I've lived with self-hatred, I've lived with jealousy and insecurity. And even though I've always been a lover and I've always been trying to love, I hadn't always been able to. I have spent many moments of my life in pain and distracted by this pain and overtaken by this pain. And as much as I've wanted to love my entire life, and as much as I've wanted to give into this entire world, I haven't always been able to do that. And because I wasn't able to do that, I suffered. Because I wasn't able to do what I wished to do in this life, I suffered. And I blamed myself. I hated myself. I thought I was sick, and I was made to believe that I was sick because I was sad and because I wasn't content with where I was. And the thing is it wasn't that I was sick. It wasn't that I was just depressed. It was that I wasn't able to be the person that I wished to be, and to do that which I wished to do. And because of that, I suffered. And I'm here today to speak to you, to let you know that you are not a bad person. You are not evil. You are not wrong. You're not bad in any way, shape, or form. You may just be hurt. You may just be repressed. You may just be surrounded by pain and suffering and lacking of the resources to be the true you. And that is why I am here today, and that is the purpose of my entire speech and all of my messages, is this love. This love that we are lacking of, that I have been lacking of my whole life, that you too may be lacking of, and that all of those people that you may see as evil or twisted or hateful, mean or wrong, they too just haven't been given that love and can't find that love. And I believe that it is this lack of love, to which is the root of all of our problems, and to which is why I believe that we need change, that we are doing something wrong. I don't think that I need to prove this to you. I think that you already know it, that we all already know it, that we all have this deep feeling of wrongness. But let me just try for the factual people that need proof of something to try and bring some evidence to the corruption of our current world and the love that is lacking right now. I'm a registered massage therapist by trade. That is what I went to school for when I was young. And what I had learned from that is working with people all the time, I see that there is so much tremendous physical pain. And this physical pain is a manifestation of this emotional pain. And I can see in people's faces the frown lines. I could see the rolling of their shoulders, the slumpness of their bodies, the closeness of their heart. And to me, that is a genuine reflection of the external environment to which they are subjected to, and to the internal environment that they have been forced to create because of this external environment. The slumped shoulders to me just show the weight that is put on everyone. Even when we go and we look and we see people that are overweight, that are obese or whichever, to me when I see that, I don't see that they are fat and gluttonous and whatever. To me, I see weight, I see heaviness. I see that they were bared with heaviness. And that they had to find some way to cope with that heaviness. They had to find some way, shape, or form to cope with all of that negative feeling that they were enduring. And their physical appearance is just a manifestation of all the weight that was put on them. Everywhere I see addiction. It is so relevant or prevalent in this society. I myself have dealt with it. Even now, be honest with you, I'm a cigar smoker. I smoke cigars and I smoke it almost every day. And previous to that, I was a pothead. I smoked weed every single day, multiple times a day. And there's nothing really wrong with it, though there is. I was still able to find my light through it. And it very well was a influential part of the person I am today, so I do not regret it. But where I do see with this addiction is the fact that we are trying to give ourselves something that we aren't able to find elsewhere. Now, what I mean by this is that I will go into this in a little more depth, and I wish to go into this later, but that with everything comes down. What I see as love is this emotional height, this beautiful high state of being. This like high sense of state of living, that state of emotion, that state of happiness that we all wish to achieve, though it is metaphysical and physical and emotional in all ways, it does all come down to chemicals in the human body. And the experiences or the feelings that the experiences that we experience when we are in love are a chemical reaction that equivalent to the same that when we do cocaine or heroin or whichever. And so I believe that this point of high, this love, is who we are and is where we are meant to be and we are supposed to be in an ideal world. And we are always trying to get to this point. We are always trying to be there. And most of us spend most of our times not being us and living in these low states of emotion like frustration and pain and hopelessness, and we almost accept that as who we are and how we have to be, and we almost hate ourselves because we don't like who we are and we don't like being that way, and we resent ourselves for us being that. Now, that is not who we are. Who we are is who we are when we are in our highest states. Now, drugs and addiction and alcohol and all these things we use to mimic this state. We try to get to be into our happy, high self through this substance abuse. And now, what I mean by all of that is, and by the chemical stuff, is that when we do things like this, we either release dopamine or serotonin. There's other chemicals as well, but it is this high levels of dopamine and serotonin that allow us to be in that state. And if anyone who has ever smoked weed or done any drugs or been drunk or even tried ecstasy, you have an idea, maybe an unnatural idea, of what it is like to be high. But at least you have a taste of what it is like to be high and to be in love. And we want to all be there, and we all deserve to be there. We all do, and we all deserve to be there more often than we are. And that is the whole purpose of this speech, is I wish for us, and I know that we all can come together to make a change to allow our lifestyles to allow us to be there. But we are not always able to be there with all the stress that we have and the cortisol that comes along with this stress that robs us of this serotonin and these happy chemicals and this lifestyle and all these worries and stresses and physical and emotional factors that hold us away from this, keep us low and keep us away from this. And it keeps our levels lower than they could be or should be. And so what happens is we go and we smoke a cigar for this hint of dopamine, for this hit of high, this hit of happiness, this hit of a reward that says that we are doing okay. Dopamine is the chemical for pleasure and reward. Okay? Now, what our bodies use this for hunting and gathering, is that we would create, dopamine would be created when we set out a goal, say to get food. And it would give us that dopamine to give us this energy and drive and will to achieve that. And then once we achieve that, we would be rewarded with this dopamine that tells us that we did it, we did right, and we feel good. And we can be rewarded. And now, the thing is a lot of us, especially people that have tendencies towards addiction, like myself, are generally low dopamine people, that we just have low dopamine. And people with low dopamine levels are more susceptible to addiction because we need something to give us this satisfaction, to make us feel all right, because otherwise we don't. And my point being here is that this low dopamine, the depression, these low feelings and emotion and all of this that we all feel may not be just because we are sick, but because the lifestyles that we are living, or the lifestyles that we are forced to live, are not rewarding. And so we have to find something else to give us that sense of reward. And even to this day, I still smoke cigars until shortly after this, now that I have found an outlet for me to start expressing myself and to start doing something, to finally start actualizing my dreams, I used these cigars to give me pleasure throughout my day because I couldn't find it elsewhere. But now, I am at the point where I can start expressing myself, and hopefully from expressing myself, I can receive more love that will allow me to continue to give this love out. And then I will find more ways to bring this into me so that I can create a lifestyle that is satisfying to myself so that I do not need to find it in any other ways, right? But not all of us are able or are given the resources or have the resources to be able to do this. You know, there was a point where I was at, similar to where I am now, I had this message, this feeling inside of me that I really wanted to express, but I didn't even have a laptop that I'm recording on now. I didn't have a phone either. I was so financially deficit that I didn't have the resources to be able to even start what I wish to do or to even do what I wish to do. And because of that, I got myself in a cycle that brought me lower and lower because I couldn't do what I really wished to do that would satisfy me. Because I couldn't do that, I was not getting the dopamine that I needed to feel okay. And because of that, I was living low and I was living in depression and I was losing will. I had no energy. I was losing sociability. And all of that started to cycle downward because I couldn't hold a job. Because I couldn't connect with people, because I couldn't communicate. Because I couldn't just function. And so I was suffering more and more and more, to the point where I tried to kill myself. And I was even admitted myself into the mental hospital because I didn't want to die. All I really wanted to do was to give love to the world. All I wanted to do was to make a change in some way, shape, or form. It's all I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it. And so I was stuck in a state of frustration and misery and hopelessness, like many of us are, where we shouldn't have to be. And I almost died. So close. But I held on. And I held on more than I almost could have or should have. I mean, I was relentless with how much I held on for all of the depressive episodes that I went through, all of the times that I was suicidal and hopeless and felt that it didn't matter because I couldn't do it anyway. And if I did, I wouldn't be here today, and I wouldn't be able to do this. And this love that I have to give wouldn't have been able to be given. And that would have been tragic. And the thing is that happens to more people than just myself, and I know this. I know this. I know that people are going through this. And I know that people that could have brought so much love to this world were killed. Killed by our decisions and our actions. And even the actions and decisions that are out of our control at this point, that may have been decided from the people up there. But regardless, whoever and however the governing and societal living is chosen, that has killed so many people. Our sins have killed so many people. And that is the same message that even Jesus Christ was here to say. I'm not religious and I'm not here to preach like that. But he was a man of suffering and love and acceptance that was killed from the people that were causing damage, that were choosing this greed and this capitalism and this whichever, that weren't loving, regardless of that point. I think that was the message that was meant to be sent, was that people are dying because they are not given enough love in this world. And we need to make some kind of change to allow those people to thrive and flourish. And those people shouldn't have to suffer and shouldn't have to die because of our actions. And so, I'd like to go back to where I was, saying that I almost died, and I had suffered like all of us have suffered, because this life and this environment did not make it easy for me to follow my heart and to do what I wish to do and to be my true self. And because this world and all of its stressors and negative factors held me low, and they shouldn't have. Even to this day, when I'm speaking about poverty and not having what I needed, I'm making this video. This video may not do anything or be anything, but I'm making it. I'm not in a studio or a professional setting. I don't have even the network to even edit these videos or to provide me with a proper space or to make these videos legit. I'm recording this in the bare minimum right now. I'm doing this from the bare scratches, whatever that means. I may not have everything that I need to do everything I wish to do, and I still do not have everything that I wish to do. But I am trying, and I need you to continue to too. But if we come together, and I strongly believe that if we come together, and I will be a vessel for you and a hub if you need for this movement of everything, for us to unify together to make this happen, to make this love here so that it is easier for all of us to follow our hearts and to make our dreams come true, and for all of us to have the resources that we need to do our dreams when we feel them, so that we do not have to suffer. I firmly believe that most of our problems come from insecurity, from the fact that we are not given all that we need to know that we're going to be all right. We are not guaranteed a home over our head. We are not guaranteed food in our belly. Even though I firmly believe that we have all the technology and resources and capabilities to make that happen, we do not have all that we need to know that it is okay. And so from this insecurity, we have formed competition, and we are fighting to find this love. We fight against each other because it is not all there for all of us. And because we know that only some get it, and that's not how it should be. It should be guaranteed. And I don't mean that we're entitled, but we are entitled as human beings. We are there now. We can be there now, and I know we can be. And we deserve that. We do not need to be fighting anymore, and we fight because of this insecurity. We are jealous and we feel these low emotions because of insecurity. Because we don't have what we need to be hopeful, to achieve our dreams. To feel okay and to just be comfortable and to just be at ease. And I don't want us to fight anymore. I don't. I am not a fighter, and I know many of us aren't fighters. And the thing is the people that are lovers and that aren't fighting will die. And that means that all that will be in this world is fighters. And I believe that is where we've come to at this point now. Is we are a world of fighters. And what will we continue to do? We will fight. And will fighting ever really bring upon peace? Will it? Will it really ever bring love? Will it? And this is the point of my frustration. I live in frustration because I feel this so strongly and I haven't been able to do anything with it. We do not need to fight anymore. We do not need to fight anymore. We shouldn't need to fight anymore. If we come together, if we surrender, if we choose love, it may not be up to all of us, because there are many of us lovers that are dying in the sidelines, that know this but cannot do anything with it because they know nothing but love and not to fight. In a world that only fighters thrive, love will die. Unless the lovers choose to fight, losing their essence. I do not wish to fight, but I am fighting today. I am becoming a fighter because that which I am forced to accept, I cannot accept. And even then, that forces me out of my character. Because I am a lover, and I know that with that comes along acceptance. Because fighting what is will only destroy us inside. But who really wants to accept this? Accept all of this pain, all of this suffering, all of this hardship and struggle that every single person is going through, all of the lostness and the confusion. Who wants to accept that? None of us. We shouldn't have to accept that. But then that forces all of us lovers out of position because all we know is to accept. But we can't. We can't. And I won't. And I may die because I cannot accept this. But I know that it is because I cannot accept this that will kill me. That is why something needs to change. We need to make a change in this world to make our lives, this lifestyle, this environment that is surrounding us, and the lifestyles that we live worthy of acceptance. Because until it is, and as long as it is in such a state that it feels wrong to us inside, all of us lovers, Christ-like consciousnesses of acceptance will be forced to be anti-Christic, be forced to rebel, to be forced to be that who which they are not. And for as long as we are in this state of being, we will always be resistant. We will always be rebelling. And we will always be fighting. And if we do that, we will never reach love. We will never be in love. And I believe this was the original point behind every religion and every culture to create and sustain love. Though I do believe that we have become lost because we are fighting. We are in anger, we are in hatred. And can any of us really be channeling through God when we are in a state of anger and hatred? Are we really embodying God when we are fighting, when we are hating each other, when we are judging each other? No. And I know that we all have the best intentions, but we are misguided. Because even though that is what we have in our mind and our heart, and that is what we wish to express and to communicate and to bring about and to create, because of the world that we're in, the environment that we're in, the circumstances that we are in, we are held low in emotion. We're held in a low state, hell if you will. And when we're in this low state, God will not come through. Love is not fully coming through. When we are in these low states, as good as we mean, we are not communicating it. And so I wish, in some way, shape, or form, we come together to make a change. So that we can live in higher states of emotion while we have to be emotional. For as long as we have thought, we will have emotion. So we need to learn to control that. And we need to learn to manage that for us all, not for just ourselves, but so that we can all be there. So that, because when we are there, God and love is communicated flawlessly, without question, without hesitation, it comes through. And so the key is to find a way that we can all be there. Fighting is not the answer. War is not the answer. Hating each other and hating humans is not the answer. It's not going to do it. We have to understand, every one of us, we have to understand what each of us are going through. And understand that we are not bad. We are not bad people. They are not bad people. None of them are bad people. They are hurt. And they are held low. But that is not them. And it's not even up to their choice. As much as we may want to blame them and say that it is their choice, it is not their choice. Because even the people that are trying their hardest to be healthy and well and high and happy still suffer. And I know this for a fact. I have experienced this personally. So it is not their fault. It is not your fault. It is not our fault. So we can stop hating each other. We can stop hating humans. We can stop thinking that they're all awful and bad and mean and cruel. Because they're not. They're just different. They're just raised with different circumstance, ingrained with different memories and teachings. They're just traumatized in different ways. Once we can get past this, maybe we can start to have some empathy and love for each other. Maybe that's a step. So if you try and understand, and it may be hard for us to understand when we're in a low state. When I don't eat, I feel like shit. When I don't eat and I haven't eaten, my stomach, my digestive system is hurting. And the digestive system is directly connected to the mind. And I automatically feel lower. I think more pessimistic thoughts immediately, and I know this. And if I don't eat, I sometimes may destroy things. I could get in such a low state when I am not loving myself, when I haven't given myself all that I could. And I know that when we are in low states, maybe because of any different kind of circumstances, like not eating enough, or not drinking enough water, or from financial stress and worries, or other insecurities, or from physical stress or fatigue or burnout from us working too hard at these minimum wage jobs that I'm even still working at, and end up being so fatigued and out of energy by the end of the day that when I go to wish to try and express love and creativity, I'm too drained. But from any of these circumstances, that we are held low from these stresses and these worries and these even familial stresses or situations that we are put in, are held low. It is not easy for us to understand. It is not easy for us to empathize and to see the light behind everyone. It is hard for us to just understand. And I know this. I've lived this. That is why we need to make a change. We need to make a change in this environment that we are all surrounded about. In the environment which is inside ourselves, we need to make a change. So that we can be in love, that we can live in love, that we can live in this higher state of being. So that it can be easier for us to be in this higher state of being, to be in heaven. So that it's easier for us to feel good. And that is the purpose of this message. And some of it, sadly, is out of our control. As much as we may want to love and as much as we may try to love and love ourselves, some of it is out of our control. We may see all these horrible things going on in the world that we feel and we wish to change, but we are only one person and we can't make that change. We may just be one single person that has no network and no voice, and no financial power, that we can't make a change. And it is sad. It is so sad to see, because I know that I'm not the only one here that wishes for this in the world. In fact, I think that we all wish for this in the world. But we have given up on that dream because it seems stupid and unlikely. Because it seems too high and idealistic. But I feel like we all feel it. Love. And so, we may need miracles from each and one of you, each and every one of you. We may need miracles from the higher ups in the world, the people of financial power, the celebrities and the corporate giants. We may need a shift in heart from these people. And it may be unlikely that that could happen, but we almost need that to happen. And it can happen. Because if these people realize that love is not foolish, that it can exist, that this can exist, then they will and they can make a change. They can. They can. these people can make a change. We can make this change. Love can happen. Love can exist. And you know why it will happen once we all realize that it can happen? Because we are all one. And even if we remain to be selfish, once we come to this understanding that we are one, those that seek power and seek this height and all of this will realize that they cannot achieve that until we all are there too. And so maybe even then, our selfishness may bring us up, because I cannot be where I wish to be unless everyone is there too. Because I am a human being, I am an empathetic being, I am a sensing being. So as long as there is suffering out here, I will feel it. And until that suffering is not there, I will always be suffering. And that is the only way that we're going to reduce this suffering that I'm feeling and that you're feeling, is if we reduce it in each and every single one of them. Because that is how we are going to abolish all this pain that we feel and all of this that is keeping us away from what we wish to feel and to be. And this can happen. This can happen, and it will happen. Because I am here to do my best to make a spark so that it starts and that it continues. And I know that there's many, many hundreds of thousands of every freaking single one of us that are here that wish the same, that will make sure this message continues on until it happens. Because I'm not the only one with this, and you are not the only one with this feeling. You may have thought you were alone on this, but you're not alone. Every single artist that has ever been on has been proceeding or keeping this dream alive. In every song that you may listen to, you will hear this emotion and you will feel this message. They are all trying to send forth the same thing, to bring about the same thing, love. And that is what makes me feel okay. And that is what, after making this video, will allow me to rest in peace. Because I know that this love will never die. And that even though we may not be there now, or yet, we will be. And I did all that I could to help that. And so now comes on to the next job for us to do. One is to love ourselves. And two is to accept. Because we can now accept knowing this. And three is to surrender. Doing this video right now is the most alive I have ever felt, and is the most rewarding I have ever felt in my existence. And I am so happy and content with where I am right now in my life because I got this far in this video. No cigars, no alcohol, no sex, no porn, no fast food or anything would ever be able to give me the satisfaction that this has now. This right now is the epiphany of me loving myself. because I just actualized everything inside of my heart. This is the happiest moment of my life, though it may very well get happier and happier and happier. But doing this is me loving myself. It is giving me what I need to be high and satisfied and content with my life. And by loving myself, by doing that to which I love and I am passionate about, will bring about more love. And I know it will. This must bring about love. And the more we love ourselves, the more that which we do to enable ourselves to feel good being us, the more energy, the more positive emotion, the more love we will have to give to others to enable them to do the same, to enable them to feel good in life, and to raise them up. And that is the whole point of our lives. I mean, it's funny because I've been talking all this love yourself stuff before Justin Bieber made it cool. And I've been wanting to say that for so long. But this is our purpose. This is our purpose. To love ourselves. To take care of ourselves. To give our own time into ourselves. Stretching to relieve our physical pain. Meditating to slow down our monkey minds that distract us with all of these thoughts that keep us away from peace. Hydrate ourselves with water. Fuel ourselves with food. And the right food and good food. Not all of this poisonous processed crap that's out there that is inflaming us and putting us in physical distress. But fueling ourselves with real good food. Why? Not to be skinny, not to have a six-pack, not to be jacked and look awesome, but to give us energy and to keep us feeling great, because that is who we are. We are not who we are when we are not eating, when we're low. We do this, we eat, we drink water, we take care of ourselves, we love ourselves to be ourselves. To be high and energetic and happy and enthusiastic and patient and understanding, so that we can help everyone else and raise everyone else. That is the purpose of our lives. Let's relieve this pressure. All of that stuff that is holding us low, these worries and everything, because even the celebrities that are wealthy and high and have all the love and assistance and that they could ever ask for, and all the resources in the world, they are still unable to be themselves because of all the pressure that is put on them. So let's relieve this pressure. Let's relieve this pain. Because I firmly believe that we have learned all the lessons that we have needed to learn from pain, and we can now begin to learn from love. And the fact that all of this pain exists gives hope that it can all, because it all can be turned into the most powerful, undying love. And I know that we are ready now. We are here now. It is the time now. Now is the time to love. And we've got this. We have it. We can do it. And I know we can. Because I was able to do it, and I was at the bottom. And I have had nothing and still have almost nothing. And I too have been able to do this even though I am stressing with the fact that I don't even have enough money to know that I'm paying my rent for this place right now. And that I have had nothing, no material possessions other than this laptop. And it's not about the money. It is not about the money. And I don't care about the money, but I wish that I had the money because we have replaced money for love. Do you get it? We have almost replaced money for love. I'm not about the money. I don't really care. But what I could do with the love, or with the money, how much love I could do with the money, all the dreams and all of the love I've wished to do for other people that I couldn't do because I didn't have the resources, I didn't have the financials to do it. I mean, the stuff that I've wished to do for my friends and family have been grand and extreme, and I've always wished to do these things, but I didn't have the money to do them. And I've given my love in every other way, and I know it is appreciative, but I wanted to give more and do more, and I knew I could have, but I couldn't because I didn't have the money. And I wanted to love myself more, but I didn't have the money. You know, maybe this video could have been better quality if I could have afforded a better camera. Or maybe it could have been put together better if I had more assistance. Or maybe it could have been put together sooner if I had even the little bit that I have now then. So it's not about the money, it's about the love, and it's about the love that can be given with that money. And the fact that so many people are financially poor almost means that we are poor on love. Because to love ourselves requires money. To give ourselves good food. I mean, every student is taught to eat shitty bee and live off ramen noodles. So right off the bat, because we are strapped on money, we are learning these poor principles that are going on to cause all of this chaos. And it all comes from that insecurity. So, I don't know everything that needs to be done. I do not have all the answers. I have the answer, love. But it is up to all of you now to find your love and to create it amongst yourself. To find your way to love the world. So I don't know what all needs to be done, but we will find the answers because we know all we need to know. And we will each find out how to do it, because once all of us put in our individual effort, because each and every one of us have our own individual skill set and strength that gives us rise to different abilities to communicate this message and to spread love. And you will all find the answers, and we will all put it together and make it come true. We all will. Not I, not you, not one, but all. I really do, without knowing you all, love you all. I'm so happy for this day. and for us coming to the point that we are at now. And I am so excited for that which lies ahead of us. Thank you all so much for letting me be here today and for seeing me. Thank you.